What's good, Commanders fans? And I hope everybody has a great weekend. I just didn't have a lot of time yesterday on Friday. I usually get my preview videos out on Friday, but I'm going to do it today, of course, and get something out to you guys before Sunday morning in Spain. Of course, this is not the matchup that we thought it was going to be with JD5, JD5. In Spain, we thought we would at least we're 3-7, and maybe the reverse 7-3 at this point, or even some people had 7-2 or 8-2, or I think Street Scores had us undefeated at this point, or something crazy like 9-1 or whatever. But it's the complete opposite. And the Dolphins are not a good team either. They're a darn bad team, just like us. They're 3-7. We're 3-7. Still 3-7 matchup. Two Hawaiian quarterbacks with Tua and Marcus Mariota. Tua said that he looked up to Marcus Mariota. I think they went to the same high school, not at the same time, but they went to the same high school as well, which is pretty cool. And then you got some connections with Mike McDaniel and Dan Quinn. Mike McDaniel is from that Shanahan tree, the younger Shanahan, Kyle Shanahan. He's from the Dan Quinn tree as well, if you want to say it that way too. And people who have been coaches under Kyle Shanahan or the Shanahan tree have BTA'd Dan Quinn's defense for the most part. The Packers with Matt LaFleur. Even when Dan was in Dallas, Matt LaFleur again with the Packers when the Packers dusted Dan Quinn and Dak Prescott in the playoffs. And then I feel like we played another Shanahan disciple this year. We just got BTA'd or belted and struggled against their offense. We struggled against it. Doesn't matter what coaching tree you come from. We struggle against anybody's offense. It doesn't really matter. So and I just don't have much, guys. I'm sorry. I don't have a lot of juice for this game. It is going to be fun because it's different. It's 9:30. I know people don't want to wake up early. I do see a bunch of Commanders fans over there on Instagram stories and stuff like that having a grand old time, and I'm happy for them. Unfortunately, they paid for this matchup instead of that matchup. But just the experience in Spain and Madrid is definitely a once-in-a-lifetime experience for a lot of people. So that's awesome for them, whoever was able to fly over there and enjoy themselves. So we'll just get to the injury report real quick, and then we'll get to keys to, not even keys to victory. I can't call it that anymore. Just keys to be competitive. Dan Quinn did take over the play calling, so this will be the first time seeing him do that with the Commanders defense. So that will be intriguing because if he gives up 30 points, just like Joe Witt Jr. did, then, it's going to look really bad on him. And I still would not fire him at the end of the season, even if, like, say he gives up 30 points to the Dolphins and then we give up 30 points to the Broncos after the bye week. I still would keep him just because he does have the injury excuse. That is a legitimate excuse, in my opinion, and especially after having a 12-5 season where you went to the NFC Championship. I think that buys you time, in my opinion. It buys you time. You do get some better matchups after the bye. You get the Vikings at Minnesota against J.J. McCarthy, even though it's Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. It's still J.J. McCarthy. And then you got New York, where it could be Jameis Winston or Russell Wilson instead of Jackson Dart. Because Jackson Dart is really getting banged up with concussions. So who knows if he'll be playing. But regardless, let's focus on the game here. Let's get to the injury report. So the main thing here is Bradley Chubb. Bradley Chubb, their defensive end, popped up on the injury report. I don't think he was on the injury report at all. He wasn't on Wednesday or Thursday, but Friday he was limited and he's questionable. Now, offensive lineman Austin Jackson is doubtful for the Dolphins. Russell Douglas is questionable with a foot injury. D. Eskers, their wide receiver, is questionable. Tyreek Hill as well. This was supposed to be a light 'em up, high-scoring game, which it probably still will be. I think we're actually going to be able to move the football against this Dolphins defense. Even though the Dolphins defense has been better, they just beat the Bills. They handled the Bills, too. They did. They handled the Bills as well. Ollie Gordon, Chop Robinson, concussion, full participant. He's going to play. And then our side, of course, Traylon Burks is out. Jane Daniels is out. Will Harris is out. Drake Jackson is out. Terry McLaurin is out. Jordan McGee is out. Ben Sinnott now is questionable. He's popped up on the injury report with an ankle injury. Jordan McGee knee injury is questionable as well. So we had some of our younger guys pop up now. Frankie Lou was going to play. He was banged up a little bit. And C-Rod is going. Chris Rodriguez, our running back, he's going to play now. He had a shoulder injury, but he was a full participant. All week. So that's the injury report right there, guys. That's really it. I mean, we could have a potential advantage if Bradley Chubb gets hurt, but I can't even say that anymore. Every time I make a video about a potential advantage, it actually ends up being it becomes an advantage for the other team. Trayvon Diggs, when he got hurt, that actually helped the Cowboys, or he had the concussion or whatever happened. And then Cooper Kupp being hurt probably helped the Seahawks as well, because you got some younger guys that could move faster, like Torrey Horton at this point may be a better receiver than Cooper Kupp at this point. And, and I think that might actually help the Seahawks out with Cooper Kupp not playing, so other guys could emerge. But yeah, let's get to today's sponsor, Sleeper, and let's get back to the video. What's good, Commanders fans? And shout out to today's sponsor, Sleeper, the daily #1 sports app in America. Make sure you guys check out Sleeper. So I have a good promo code for first-time users for you guys. Use promo code Oliver for first-time users. You get 100% deposit match up to $100 using Sleeper. Also, don't forget to use the $20 free entry on Sleeper. So I'm giving you guys some good deals. If you don't know what Sleeper is, it's a fantasy sports app. You wager on receiving yards, more or less, passing yards, more or less, passing touchdowns, more or less. Any stat you can think about, rushing yards, receptions, any stat you think about, you can wager on sacks, stuff like that for defense. So we're going to go with the system play. 7 out of 10 quarterbacks who have played against the Commanders have gotten the more on their passing touchdowns versus the Commanders. So we're going to continue. I'm not going to say we're going to continue that trend, but the Commanders defense is going to continue that trend with Tua Tagovailoa getting more than 1.5 passing touchdowns. So make sure you guys use the link down below in the description. Terms and conditions apply. I'm very hot right now. I've hit on like the last 3. Sam Darnold, what's his name? Jared Goff, Pat Mahomes, Dak Prescott. All those guys hit the more on their passing touchdowns. Michael Penix, Geno Smith. So you name it. A lot of guys have hit the more on their passing touchdowns against this Commanders defense. It will continue on Sunday morning. Let's get back to the video. So for me, keys to be competitive. Can they force a punt? We know Tua is turning the ball over at an alarming rate. They lead the league in giveaways, and a lot of that is because of Tua Tagovailoa. Tua Tagovailoa. Third down percentage on offense, they're ranked 18th. Offensive success rate, they're ranked 30th. So they're struggling this year. 26 in points per game, yards per game, 25th. EPA per pass play, 24th. So they are struggling. Red zone percentage they're ranked 15th, about middle of the pack. But the intriguing stat to me is their run defense. Their run defense was really, really bad to start the season off. But like since week 8 or week 6, looking at some of the stats here, their run defense grade is first since week 6. Negative grade percentage is ranked 2nd. Missed tackles is ranked 7th. Their defensive line run defensive grade is first. Now they traded away Jalen Phillips to the Eagles, which I hate that. I hate when teams make trades to help the Eagles and trade away good players to help the Eagles. But, they're selling. That's what they decided to do. But their defense has been better, man. It's been a lot better. And like I said, they did a good job against the Bills. They just beat somebody else, too, where they were competitive. They beat Atlanta 34-10. But they've been up and down, man. They lost to the Browns 31-6. They lost to Los Angeles 29-27. They gave up 200 rushing yards to Rico Dowdle. They gave up 100 rushing yards to Vital for the Chargers. Quinshon Judkins had a good rushing game against them. Derrick Henry had a good rushing game against them as well. He had 100 rushing yards against the Dolphins defense. So they have been giving up rushing yards as well. So if the Commanders want to have a chance, let's just keep this simple. Let's not even talk about a bunch of keys. I wanted to say that Jalen Lane needs to catch the football because we're going to need him with no Treylon Burks with the finger injury. But Jalen Lane's going to have to catch the football. That's going to be huge. Robbie Chose is going to have to force a pass interference. Noyak Zach's going to have to catch the football. Ben Sinnott, are they going to use him or not? Probably not. John Bates needs to block as well. Should they run some 13 personnel where they have Brandon Coleman out there to help him block as just an extra down lineman so we can run the football? Probably. And then C-Rod and Bill, let's see who emerges between the two. C-Rod is going to start. He's a captain, I believe. it's Tunzel, C-Rod, and no. Tunzel, Nick Ballore, and Johnny Newton. So we need a big game from Johnny Newton. I know I'm all over the place, but the Dolphins, they do have a weak link on their offensive line. His name is Jonah Saviina. He struggled this year for sure. So if Johnny Newton can step up, and also what's his name, Javon Kinlaw, if they can step up and dominate in the interior, that would be a huge help because we got Von Miller and who else? I'm forgetting. Jacob Martin. We need big games for those guys too. This guy, Jonah Saviina, has a 28.1 PFF grade. He's ranked 78th out of 79 guards in the NFL, so he's really struggling. His pass block grade is a 7.8. That is awful. How do you have a 7.8 PFF grade? That's so bad. I get it. PFF is not gospel, but those guys, they gotta eat. Like Johnny Newton, you gotta eat, bro. Javon Kinlaw, you gotta eat. Simple as that. Defensively, that's the only way we can really win because we're not stopping Jalen Waddle. We're not stopping Devin A-Chain. Those guys are gonna hit the more on their rushing, receiving yards, or whatever prop. Anytime touchdowns, all that stuff, I would take the more on Devin A-Chain and Jalen Waddle. Any prop you see. Nick Westbrook, Akine as well. Malik Washington, Cedric Wilson, the tight end Greg Dulcich. We're probably going to struggle against him as well. They do have Matt Judon and Chop Robinson on defense. But like I said, let's see. Can we force a punt or two? Debo, we got to use Debo in the run game, use him in the passing game. Marcus Mariota is going to be used as a runner as well. Are we going to make plays under center with Cliff Kingsbury? No huddle. I would be aggressive again. This kind of feels like the Tank Bowl a little bit from years ago when it was Ryan Fitzpatrick versus Case Keenum. And we actually ended up winning that game. Do you really want to win this game or do you want to just tank? And not even tank. We're gonna lose this game anyway. But it kind of gives me vibes of that a little bit because we're both just bad teams, and they were actually tanking for Tua at the time, which is crazy because they have Tua and they're ready to move on from him, and also Mike McDaniel, which is pretty crazy after all those years. They did make the playoffs a couple of times though. But like I said, can we force a punt? Run game has to be humming, or we have to have a pulse running the football some way somehow. We just have to. That's all I got, man. I don't have much, man. Cover the tight ends and let's see how Dan does defensively as the play caller. Because let's see if that makes a difference at all, which I don't think it will. Because we just don't have the personnel, man. We just don't. There's so many injuries, so many guys out. Javon Kinlaw's out there playing defensive end. Johnny Newton is out there playing defensive end because we just don't have the depth. We just don't have the players. Sheldon Day is getting big minutes, big snaps, I believe, and we just don't have the depth. We don't have the corners. Trey Amos is out. So what is it? John Jones, Noah I, Mikey's been struggling. I think Antonio Hamilton may have to suit up. He's probably gonna have to play. Trey Hawkins, the guy we signed up to practice squad, is probably gonna have to play. Quan Martin, Jeremy Reeves, need those guys to step up. Clock management's gonna be huge now. How's the clock management gonna be now? Because Dan is calling the plays, so he's gonna have to focus on that and handle challenges, clock management, different things like that. Now, I know David Gerard is the guy that helps. I think that's his name with clock management, analytical decisions. So, like, whether we go for two, whether we call a timeout, whether we punt, go for 'em, fourth down. I would be aggressive this game. I just wouldn't give a crap. I would just go for it this game, honestly. I would not be conservative. Just go for it on 4th and 2, 4th and 3. And, yeah, that's what I would do personally. I would just do that. So, I have us losing 31-20 or 28-20, something like that. They're definitely going to get at least like 28. They're going to score at least 4 touchdowns for sure because we can't stop. We can't stop a park car at this point. We just can't. We're just not capable. We just don't have the personnel. And we just don't. It's just too many injuries and different things like that. So how does Matt Gay do as well? We'll see. I'm intrigued about that. Ball is life. Do we have a takeaway or not? Probably not. Even though Tua throws the ball away a lot or throws a bunch of interceptions. So, but yeah, that's how I feel. That's how I feel about this game. Tua, more than 1.5 passing touchdowns, and we're gonna lose this game. But I do think Mariota's gonna have a good game. I do think he's gonna have a positive, productive game. Guys just have to catch the football, hang with the football. That's all. Zachers, no Yak Zach, give me some yards too. I think no Yak Zach is going to have a positive game. Like I said, I think offensively we're going to be able to move the ball. We just can't get stops. That's the concern for me. So, all right, you guys, as always, Hello Commanders. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.